Yeah, so does this create then another problem? Because, of course, more broadly outside some of these counties and some of these states, there still remains overwhelming U.S. support for Israel. There was a Harvard-Harris poll that said 81% of Americans back Israel over Hamas, 69% approved of Israel trying to avoid civilian casualties. 64% say a ceasefire should only happen after Hamas is removed and all hostages are freed. The question then is, are the Democrats now letting themselves be hijacked, so to speak, by a hard left group and by the pro-Islamist wing of the party?
Well, President Biden is trying to thread the needle, and he's developed a package of policies that appeal to both wings of the party. Let's call it the pro-Israel wing of the party and the anti-Israel wing. For the pro-Israel side, he's saying that he has consistently supported Israel in the fight against Hamas. He has avoided the calls for an immediate ceasefire coming from the progressive left. And to the progressive left, he's saying, oh, I'm working very hard to get a ceasefire now. And the ceasefire that he's working on is one that it'll be in the context of a exchange of the hostages that Hamas took for Palestinians who are incarcerated in Israeli jails. And so prisoner for hostages swap that the Israeli government will accept. So he won't be seen from the pro-Israel side as having forced Israel to do something it doesn't want to do.
And something we haven't heard a lot about in the press, but I know is still going on. Where are things up to now in the Red Sea and with the Houthis? I've noted that there have been some tankers which have been hit and sunk. The communications cables are now under threat there. How much of a threat is this spilling back over again? It seems to have calmed down in the press, but has it calmed down in reality?
Well, the ships are not going. The huge percentage of the global shipping that normally goes through the Suez Canal is not going through. The United States has, and its coalition partners, who are not very large, have not deterred the Houthis. They have taken a policy of purely defensive reaction to the Houthis. That is, when they see the Houthis are setting up to attack or have already attacked, they will carry out countermeasures. They've carried out some countermeasures against stockpiles of weapons, but they won't carry out any offensive countermeasures that might truly deter the Houthis. And I mean targeting Houthi leadership or targeting the Iranian liaison officers with the Houthis. The coalition is not engaging in that, and if they don't do that, they won't deter the Houthis. They're certainly not thinking of the next level up, which is to arm Yemenis on the ground, anti-Houthi Yemenis on the ground. Nothing like that's happening.
And finally, just if you could take us quickly through the big foreign policy differences between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. We keep talking about Joe Biden's foreign policy, but what would you expect would change on issues such as this if Donald Trump were to resume power in November?
Well, I think this is precisely the kind of issue where we would see something different. And we have something to go by because we have the behavior of Trump when his 4 years in office. If we compare his 4 years in office to Biden's 3 years, we see that he was willing to carry out offensive countermeasures against groups like the Houthis, to kill Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Quds force of the IRGC, the Iranian group that was arming, training, and equipping all of these militias across the Arab world. Trump, he gets called by the mainstream media and in the international media as an isolationist. I think we saw that he's not isolationist. He wants allies to do more. He will actually become engaged in the world. He's not afraid to carry out military action. He doesn't want to get involved in new wars, but he will act to deter bad actors. And I think that's the big difference, is that there's something in the DNA of the Biden administration and of the Democratic Party today that is really not just against, it's not just anti-war, it's anti-deterrence. That's the difference.
Mike Doran, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for your time. Mike Doran from the Hudson Institute.